Black Panther is one of the best MCU movies ever made, and like Wakanda, the movie is filled with amazing secrets and Easter eggs. Phambili. The world of Black Panther and Wakanda specifically are filled with breathtaking visuals, especially in the realm of fashion, with secrets and references woven into the very fabric the characters wear from head to toe. Speaking of toes, what are those? Shuri yells at T'Challa for wearing sandals in her lab. Shuri is played by Letitia Wright, and T'Challa, aka Black Panther of course, is played by the late legend Chadwick Boseman, taken from us way too early. Rest in peace, King. So what's behind that outburst? Shuri is imitating an Instagram video from 2015 that went viral. In the video posted by user Young Busco, we see a cop who Young Busco throws shade over for wearing a pair of super basic boots. The video caught on like wildfire, became a meme sensation, and the reference is dropped in pop culture to this day. It was a funny way for Shuri to introduce T'Challa to the new sneakers she developed for him as the Black Panther. Those are some pretty killer kicks. Shuri drops another reference when she tells T'Challa they're fully automated, like the old American movie Baba used to watch. What movie could she possibly be talking about? Only one of the most anticipated sequels of all time, Back to the Future Part 2. In the movie, when Marty travels to the then futuristic 2015, Doc gives him a set of modern clothes to help him blend in, including a pair of Nikes with power laces. Speaking of Nike, T'Challa's new footwear holds a secret. Did you notice the symbols on the soles before he stepped on them? Those are Wakandan glyphs, and the symbols connect directly to the 26 letters of the Latin alphabet used by English speakers. Don't have time to decode what they say? I got your back. The right foot reads air, and the left foot reads T'Chaka. Haha, it seems Shuri's got a sense of humor that carries over into her work. Put them together and you have Air T'Chaka, which not only describes T'Challa as T'Chaka's son, but it also is a pun on Air Jordans. Get it? Air. Moving on. Of course, the suit is where it's at, and the Black Panther suit is nothing short of awe-inspiring. It too has some secret glyphs worth decoding. See, there they are, right where the suit is storing the kinetic energy from T'Challa's kick. Pause and see if you can decode the words "I love you, Mom." See them yet? They're in that first small straight line beside the abdomen. It reads from bottom to top. T'Challa is taking his father's place as Black Panther after T'Chaka was tragically killed in Captain America's Civil War. But we get to see T'Chaka and Black Panther both in the afterlife sequences as well as in flashbacks. The MCU just loves an opportunity to de-age its characters. Just look at RDJ in Captain America Civil War and Samuel L. Jackson in Captain Marvel for proof. Check out the incredible job they did on John Conney. Young T'Chaka looks as young as his own son. Actually, that is John Connie's own son, Atandwa Connie, stepping into the part of young T'Chaka. No CG necessary. CG was definitely necessary when handling these next effects. Did you notice the difference in technology used over time between 1992 and present day? T'Chaka's Kimoyo beads use holographic technology during the opening flashback. I'll admit, it's still cool technology to this day, but it's nothing compared to the nanotechnology in the Kimoyo beads T'Challa and Wakabi are packing in present-day Wakanda. Wakabi, by the way, is played by Daniel Kaluuya, who shot the stardom in Jordan Peele's socially potent horror flick, Get Out. Anyway, regardless of the time and the tech, the subject remains the same. Check out whose likeness pops up in both time periods. Ulysses Klaue, played by iconic actor Andy Serkis. Don't recognize him? Maybe you know him best as Gollum from the Lord of the Rings series, Caesar in the Planet of the Apes reboot series, or most recently as Alfred Pennyworth in The Batman. Klaue is a black market arms dealer with an appetite for Wakanda's secret precious resource of vibranium, the strongest substance in the universe. He teams up with Eric Stevens, aka Killmonger, to obtain and sell the element to the highest bidder. Killmonger is played by Michael B. Jordan, aka Adonis Creed from the Creed movie series. How is it that Wakanda is the only place in the world with vibranium? Easy. It's the only place a vibranium meteorite hit the Earth millions of years ago. We see it in the beginning of the movie, but later when T'Challa goes to see Shuri at her lab in the vibranium mining facility, we can see the actual crater left by the meteorite. Back to Klaue. Did you know that he's an adaptation of the Marvel comic book villain Klaue? Sure, the spelling of their names are different, but both have lost a hand. And though Serkis's Klaue is not composed of solid sound, it's obvious that music is pretty special to him. He tries to share his SoundCloud link with Agent Ross in the Korean casino. He orders his henchmen to play music during their getaway from that casino, and finally he sings the club hit What Is Love by Hathaway at the beginning of his interrogation. At the casino, T'Challa brings along former war dog and love interest Nakia, played by Lupita Nyong'o, and Okoye, the leader of his Wakandan armed forces, played by Danai Gurira. Their mission is to bring Claw back to Wakanda. As they descend onto the casino floor, check out their wardrobe. Okoye is dressed in red, T'Challa is in black, and Nakia is wearing green. Together, they make up the colors of the Pan-African flag. When their plan blows up in their faces, watch Okoye in action. Her moves are inspired by another black female warrior, Zula, played by Grace Jones in the Schwarzenegger actioner Conan the Destroyer. By the way, this isn't the only time Grace Jones comes up in the movie. At the beginning of the movie, when James goes to the apartment door, he says that there are two Grace Jones-looking chicks waiting outside. Gotta give props to the OG strong female warrior. Back to the car chase through the streets of Busan, as Black Panther lunges from the back of the unmarked van. Listen to the gunfire rhythm of the machine gun being shot at him. Does the syncopation have a familiar rhythm to it? That's because it's identical to the percussive rhythm at the beginning of the Avengers theme song. Sure, Claw's a serious threat to Wakanda, but he's nothing compared to his partner in crime, Killmonger, a former Navy SEAL who will stop at nothing to infiltrate Wakanda, including mowing down his partner. Take a look at their shootout scene. Claw makes a good showing, but Killmonger's got something extra going for him: armor. See their last shots? Killmonger gets tagged before Claw, but Claw's lack of protection is his ultimate undoing. As if these two outsiders weren't enough, T'Challa also has to contend with unrest within the secret borders of Wakanda. Enter M'Baku, ruler of the Jabari tribe. He's the first challenger for the throne, and when we see him for the very first time, he's wearing a monkey mask. When T'Challa accepts his challenge, M'Baku says, "Glory to Hanuman." Did you know that Hanuman comes from Hindu mythology? He was a monkey commander of a monkey army. Ironically, it's not M'Baku's monkey business that makes him memorable in the film, so much as his impression of another animal. When Martin Freeman's agent Ross tries to address him in his own throne room, M'Baku and his men silence Ross by barking at him. Did you know that this was not a part of the script, but an improvised moment by M'Baku actor Winston Duke? He was just looking for an authentic way to intimidate Freeman, and that's what came of it. Killmonger must steal the throne from T'Challa, which is surprisingly his right, because Killmonger also happens to have another name, N'Jadaka. He is the secret orphan son of N'Jobu, brother and betrayer to then Black Panther T'Chaka. Man, there's a lot of father-son stuff going on in this flick. All Killmonger has to remember his father by is his ring, which he wears on a chain around his neck. That is until he becomes the new Black Panther, at which point he wears it on his right hand. While we're on this shot, take a look at that awesome hashed metal design on the throne. That's known as the Widmanstätten pattern, a structure made of molten iron and nickel which comes from iron meteorites that fall to the earth. Seems Wakanda is sitting on another rare resource. Well, the king is anyway. T'Challa and Killmonger could not be more polar opposites. In their fight for the throne, did you notice how T'Challa fights with a spear and a shield, while Killmonger fights with a spear and a sword? This symbolizes how T'Challa is all about balance and only wants to fight when it's necessary, while Killmonger's aim is total domination. Watch at the beginning of the battle when Killmonger breaks his spear. Did you know that this is a tactic that dates back to Shaka Zulu, a South African tribal leader of the Zulu nation from the 19th century? He realized shortening the spear helped maximize the amount of enemies a warrior could kill with the one weapon. Both T'Challa and Killmonger lost their fathers, and after they each separately drink from the heart-shaped herb, we see them revisit the moment they cradle their parents in death. T'Challa chooses diplomacy, unlike Killmonger, who takes the path of vengeance. Killmonger's choice of Black Panther suit is also a departure from T'Challa. His is bold and garish, while T'Challa wants to remain simpler and inconspicuous. This shows how protective T'Challa is of Wakanda, while Killmonger is bent on world domination. In fact, Killmonger's first order of business is to supply vibranium to oppressed factions all over the world in order to overthrow those in power. His first 3 targets? London, Hong Kong, and New York. Ring a bell? Well, you true MCU fans out there will recognize from 2016's Doctor Strange that those 3 cities are also the locations of the 3 sanctums where the masters of the mystic arts protect the planet Earth from interdimensional threats. I'm guessing that's something Killmonger has no concept of. It just goes to show ya he wasn't long for the throne to begin with. Part of what makes Killmonger so tragic is that he saw himself as a leader of the oppressed, however misguided. While speaking with the heads of the other tribes, he makes the grand statement the sun will never set on the Wakandan Empire. Sure, it was a figure of speech, but in his final scene with T'Challa, the 2 cousins gaze upon the Wakandan sunset together as if to symbolize the end of Killmonger's rule. Make sure you stick it out through the end credits. There's one more subliminal detail you may have missed, and I'm not talking about the post-credit sequence. You need to pay close attention from the moment you see the first credit screen, particularly to the colors. We start with a purple screen, followed by orange, red, yellow, green, and blue screens. What's with all the solid colors? Well, they just so happen to represent the 6 Infinity Stones sought after by just about everyone in the MCU. I hope you enjoyed this video and found some cool new details you might have missed from Marvel's Black Panther. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Movie Logic for more daily movie trivia, secrets, and Easter eggs.